Greetings, Japan fans. Today's show, we're going to look at accountability. Maishu, arigatou gozaimasu, and welcome back to the 9th year of the Leadership Japan series. And I'm your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guy committed to your success, president of Dale Carnegie Training Tokyo, Japan, and the 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery. My new book in Japanese, Za Eigyo, is available on Amazon. We are broadcasting around the world from Minato-ku in the center of Tokyo, the leadership capital of Japan. This podcast brings insights, examples, and experience about leading in Japan. And trust me, it is different here. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn, who, unlike many other podcast hosts, have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentations Japan series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Before we get going, today's handy Japanese phrase is Nande? How come? Say, for example, you tell someone, oh, look, the project's been cancelled. Remember, this is informal Japanese. You'd never say this to a client, but you'd say something like, Nande? How come? Nande? Oh, look, I've decided I can't join you. I can't join you for dinner. Nande? Nande? How come? This is very informal, sort of conversation used between people you're quite close to. So, how come? Nande? 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 This is episode number 454. 454 episodes on leadership. Let's get into it. And today we're going to talk about how to hold staff accountable. So, by the way, how did it go last week, delegating to your team member? Well, this week, we're going to look at accountability. Having delegated task, we must make sure that the delegate maintains a strong sense of accountability for the results. If we did a good job selling the delegation to the individual we have chosen for the task, then there shouldn't be too much to worry about regarding them carrying out the project. The issues arise when we think we were successful in persuading why this task completion is in their best interest, but we weren't as persuasive as we imagined. Business moves quickly, and perhaps when we spoke to them, there was some margin in their schedule, but now something else has popped up, and they start allocating more time to that endeavour and let our delegated task slip and slide. They are reallocating their priorities, and we have a mismatch between what we think is happening and what is really happening. How do we make sure this isn't the case? Micromanaging people isn't effective. Nobody likes being told in detail what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. Our professional sensibilities are insulted. We like to have independence to do the work in the way we think is the most effective, and being corrected at every turn creates resentment. Our objective is to have people take responsibility for the work, and we want them to be positively motivated rather than feeling put upon. Laissez-faire management isn't effective either. When there are no guidelines and no overview, the inference can be that this project isn't that important and that it becomes a free choice as to whether it gets done or not. The boss doesn't seem to see this project as important, so I won't either. becomes the dominant self-talk. We need to be in touch with the delegate and the process to make sure everything is on track. We have to be very clear in our language that they are accountable for the outcome and not just the process. We need to determine just how much intervention is right. Naturally, we may not get this quite correct at the beginning, but we can start with the right level of supervision we think will work and then vary it if we find we are too heavy or too light. Find out more. We come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public programs, but we also do custom-made in-house classes. Now, we do them in our super safe classroom, we do them live online, and we do them in Japanese, and we do them in English. On the 12th of March, we're doing the delegating course. That'll be a 12-week version of that. On the 17th, 18th of March, we're doing high-impact presentations. On the 17th of March, we're doing lead change effectively. And on the 25th of March, we're doing negotiations. We're doing bargaining and agreement. Our website is www.dale, D-A-L-E hyphen Carnegie, C-A-R-N-E-G-I-E .co.jp. You can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. If you like learning by watching videos, then we have over 1,000 for you there at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, the Bible for selling in Japan, and Japan Business Mastery, as well as my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's a premiere business show in Japan, comes out Mondays. Fridays, we have Japan Business Mastery Show. Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders in Japan from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television. Don't forget, you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Okay, welcome back. Now, besides this intervention weighing dilemma, there are 2 traps we can fall into. 1, buying back the delegation. Sometimes delegates will try to move the accountability back to the boss. We have to resist this entirely and keep them focused on the work. Some staff have worked out if they make some mistakes early in the process, or if they delay proceedings, the boss will get frustrated and then take the whole project off their hands. We shouldn't fall into that trap. Number 2, put everything in limbo. This is very dangerous. We are not holding the delegate accountable, and we are not taking any accountability ourselves either. Nobody is accountable. So obviously the project either doesn't get off the ground or it stalls. We've taken back part or all of the task, and we don't do anything on it either. We are super busy. We tell ourselves, I will get to this, but we never do. The whole task completion process grinds to a shuddering halt, and we are precisely nowhere in terms of progress. What is the answer? RAME, R-A-M-E, gives us the guidance on how much intervention is needed from our side. RAME, RAME, is the acronym for Reasonable Allowable Margin of Error. We set the control limits on how much freedom we'll give the delegate to run the task as they want to. If we feel there are minor deviations which reflect a different way of working toward the same goal, well, we'll ignore them. This, however, might be difficult to swallow with your superior level of experience and expertise. You may have convinced yourself there is only one true way of doing this task and all other versions are wrong. It is always educational to have your subordinates approach a task from a new angle and to then realize they have in fact found a better way to complete it than you could come up with. We have to remind ourselves when this happens that humility is a virtue in leaders. If we see major deviations where the project may be going off track, then we need to intervene to get things moving in the right direction again. We are always encouraging the delegate to learn from the process. We know if they can self-correct, this builds their self-confidence, which in turn helps them with their self-direction, and they can get onto a stage of self-valuation. Our ultimate aim here is to develop the abilities of our team and to assist them to move up the ranks as they show they can operate at the boss's level. As long as we keep that in mind, we will have the right touch, we'll find the right words of persuasion, and we'll be flexible about how the project is delivered. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series. If you found the program useful, then share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Take what you found valuable, immediately put into action, because idea application is what makes winners winners. Be one of them. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.